Hey guys, have you ever experienced your car shaking while idling or misfiring? Well, your solution might be your spark plugs. Now, over here, we have a 3/8 drive ratchet, your spark plug, extension, 10mm socket, and 5/8 socket. This one has a rubber inside, and this one is a magnetic one. Now, here we have two different sockets, but they serve the same purpose. Now, what the rubber one does is keep the spark plug in there very well. That way, it doesn't come off. Sometimes the rubber may come off because these are more cheaper. And the magnetic one keeps it from also falling, but even more stronger. These are a little bit more expensive. Now, first thing you do is grab your 10mm, since this bolt or nut is 10mm, attach it to the ratchet, and for safety precautions, we can only take off the negative terminal off the battery. So here we have the ignition coils. Of course, we have 4 of them because this is a 4-cylinder. And here we have the plugs. Now, first thing we do is take off the plugs. Just press it down and disconnect and do the rest. Now that we have the plugs disconnected from the coils, we now take our 10mm that we just used to disconnect the battery and get into the bolt and start disconnecting. Make sure we hold down the ratchet so the ratchet does not fly out of your hands off the bolt. Hand loosen it and then just take it off. Now, after we loosen the bolt, just take it off, put it somewhere where you know you will find it so you can put it back on. Take the boot off, and that's it. So next, grab our extension, our 5/8 socket, attach the 5/8 socket into the extension, grab the extension, connect it to your ratchet. Now, when we get into this hole, we go in slowly, that way we do not damage the spark plug. We go counterclockwise. Now, as you take out the spark plug, there it is. Now over here we have 2 ignition coils and 2 spark plugs. What do spark plugs do? Well, here's a spark plug, and what it does is it creates spark on that little gap, as you can see, and it creates combustion inside your engine. Now, depending on the engine, some cars take 4, 8, sometimes 10, 12. And these we will need to replace every 20 to 30,000 miles, depending on how good the spark plugs are. There are different spark plugs that you can buy. There's OEM, there's performance spark plugs that can increase your performance in your car so you can go out racing and stuff like that. These are OEM, and it all depends on what your car uses. You should always check your owner's manual just to see what kind of spark plug you need. So now, take our socket, spark plug, insert it, and we should be good to insert our spark plug. Now, since we have our socket and spark plug, attach it with the extension. We're not going to use the ratchet for now, and just insert slowly so that we do not damage the spark plug. Then we just hand tighten it in there. Once we have the feel that we cannot tighten it anymore, just like that, grab our ratchet and tighten it. Now, we do not need to tighten it too much, that way we do not damage the threads on the spark plug. Once we have a feel that it is tight and snugged in the cylinder, we should be all right. Next, we grab our ignition coils, insert them, make sure this is headed to the right, insert them well. Grab your ratchet, 10 millimeter. Next, connect them. Make sure they all click. And that's how you change your spark plugs. The last part, don't forget to attach the terminal to your battery in order for your car to start back up. So if your car is ever misfiring or shaking because of burnt out spark plugs, why not change them yourself?